All right. Let's go ahead and talk about our next section, how to review a UWorld question block. Now, before I go on, how many of you struggle with reviewing a UWorld question block? I will tell you that this was a struggle that I had. And it's so humbling that I have the opportunity now to help you as a student help tackle this problem. So let's go through our next section, and that is how to review a UWorld block. As an introduction, I want to let you know that setting a timer for your review of the UWorld block, remember, you're going to probably do this after you do your 3 to 4 blocks in the morning in a time test mode. Reviewing the block should have a timer of 90 to 100 minutes. And what I used to do is I used to actually take a little stopwatch and I used to say 50 minutes on, 10 minutes off, 15 minutes on, and then another 10-minute break. And by then, I should be done with reviewing the UWorld block. The second concept is to be intentional about the testable things you know compared to the testable areas for improvement. So what does that mean? You don't need to necessarily keep focusing on the things you already know. The heart has 4 chambers. If I woke you up at 2 in the morning, you probably would know that fact. Figure out what is testable, and we've talked about that earlier on in the session on how to read the content, but then also figure out what testable material you're deficient at. And by this portion of the webinar, it is not enough to just say, oh, I'm deficient at everything. No, you're not. You have strengths inside of you. You have potential. You just have to be a little bit more deliberate about it. And then the other big mindset, and guys, star this for me, and that is that you can only garner 1 to 3 facts from a UWorld question at a time. Thus, the goal is to go through UWorld multiple times, the question bank itself, multiple times, getting more facts with each pass rather than once with a fine-tooth comb. What I did when I was going through it and what I recommend is that you should go through UWorld once in a mixed time test mode or during your school year, whatever that is. Then you should do your incorrect questions. Then you should reset the question bank, do the question bank again in a mixed time test mode, and then do your incorrects after that. Why I think the repetition is going to help you is because every single time you're getting something new from that. And that's different than trying to master it for the first time, all the time, with haphazard notes, random Anki cards. And one concept that I want to combat right here, right on this webinar, is that people say, oh, I don't want to review. I don't want to do that again because I'm going to remember those questions. I'm not going to do that question bank again. I'm going to remember it. Well, I will tell you that it's very hard to do UWorld once and say you did your incorrects. And then subsequently on your second pass, 100%. So there's always room for improvement. And so understanding that, hey, in this question, when I'm reviewing it, I'm going to get 1 to 3 facts. These are facts that I'm not too comfortable with, and I'm going to just move on. That's going to help you a lot, stay time efficient. And this is all under the auspices of having a timer. All right. And then the next portion goes into the approach, and that is combating the natural tendency to review the block 1 to 40. So I would say, rather than going 1 through 40 in your review, start with your incorrects, then move on to your marked questions, and then go through your correct questions. The incorrects are the high value. That's why you messed it up. Either it was a silly mistake or you didn't know the concept, but start with your incorrects. It's very subtle, but it helps.